Winnie the Pooh by A. Milne. Adapted for audio by We Are One Body Audio Theater. Chapter 1. Winnie the Pooh and Some Bees. Once upon a time, a very long time ago, about last Friday, Winnie the Pooh lived in a forest all by himself under the name of Sanders. One day he was out walking. He came to an open place in the middle of the forest, and in the middle of this place was a large oak tree, and from the top of the tree there came a loud buzzing noise. Winnie the Pooh sat down at the foot of the tree, put his head between his paws, and began to think.
That buzzing noise means something. You don't get a buzzing noise like that, just buzzing and buzzing, without its meaning something. If there's a buzzing noise, somebody's making a buzzing noise. And the only reason for making a buzzing noise that I know of is because you're a bee.
Then he thought another long time.
And the only reason for being a bee that I know of is making honey.
And then he got up.
And the only reason for making honey is so as I can eat it.
So he began to climb the tree. He climbed, and he climbed, and he climbed. And as he climbed, he sang a little song to himself.
Isn't it funny how a bear likes honey? Buzz, buzz, buzz. I wonder why he does.
Then he climbed a little further, and a little further, and then just a little further. By that time, he had thought of another song.
It's a very funny thought that if bears were bees, they'd build their nests at the bottom of trees. And that being so, if the bees were bears, we shouldn't have to climb up all these stairs.
He was getting rather tired by this time, so that is why he sang a complaining song. He was nearly there now, and if he just stood on that branch...
Oh, help!
He dropped 10 feet onto the branch below him.
Oof, if only I hadn't.
He bounced 20 feet onto the next branch.
You see what I meant to do? Oof.
He turned head over heels.
Whoa, whoa!
And crashed onto another branch 30 feet below.
Ouch!
He slithered very quickly through the next 6 branches.
What I meant to do, of course it was rather. Goodbye, branches!
He spun round 3 times.
It all comes, I suppose.
And fell gracefully into a gorse bush.
Oof. It all comes of liking honey so much. Oh, help.
He crawled out of the gorse bush, brushed the prickles from his nose, and began to think again. And the first person he thought of was Christopher Robin. So Winnie the Pooh went looking for his friend Christopher Robin, who lived behind a green door in another part of the forest.
Good morning, Christopher Robin.
Good morning, Winnie the Pooh.
I wonder if you've got such a thing as a balloon about you.
Balloon?
Yes, I just said to myself coming along, I wonder if Christopher Robin has such a thing as a balloon about him. I just said it to myself, thinking of balloons and wondering.
What do you want a balloon for?
Winnie the Pooh looked around to see that nobody was listening, put a paw to his mouth, and said in a deep whisper,
Honey.
But you don't get honey with balloons.
I do.
Well, it just happened that Christopher Robin had been to a party the day before at the house of his friend Piglet, and there were balloons at the party. Christopher Robin had had a big green balloon, and his friend Rabbit's relations had had a big blue one that they had left behind. So Christopher Robin had brought the green one and the blue one home with him.
Which one would you like?
Pooh put his head between his paws and thought very carefully.
It's like this. When you go after honey with a balloon, the great thing is not to let the bees know you're coming. Now, if you have a green balloon, they might think you are only part of the tree and not notice you. And if you have a blue balloon, they might think you are only part of the sky and not notice you. And the question is, which is most likely?
Wouldn't they notice you underneath the balloon?
They might or they might not. You never can tell with bees.
He thought for a moment.
I shall try to look like a small black cloud. That will deceive them.
Then you had better have the blue balloon.
And so it was decided. They both went out with the blue balloon. And Christopher Robin took his slingshot with him, just in case, as he always did. And Winnie the Pooh went to a very muddy place that he knew of and rolled until he was black all over. And then, when the balloon was blown up as big can be, Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh were both holding on to the string. Christopher Robin let go suddenly, and Pooh Bear floated gracefully up into the sky and stayed there, level with the top of the tree and about 20 feet away from it.
Hooray!
Isn't that fine?
Winnie the Pooh shouted down to him.
What do I look like?
You look like a bear holding onto a balloon.
Not like a small black cloud in a blue sky.
Not very much.
Ah, well, perhaps from up here it looks different. And as I say, you never can tell with bees.
There was no wind to blow him nearer to the tree. So there he stayed. He could see the honey. He could smell the honey. But he couldn't quite reach the honey. After a little while, he called down to Christopher Robin.
Christopher Robin?
Hello.
I think the bees suspect something.
What sort of thing?
I don't know, but something tells me that they're suspicious.
Perhaps they think that you're after their honey.
It may be that. You never can tell with bees.
There was another little silence, and then Pooh called down to Christopher Robin again.
Christopher Robin?
Yes.
Have you an umbrella in your house?
I think so.
I wish you would bring it out here and walk up and down with it and look up at me every now and then and say, "Tut, tut, it looks like rain." I think if you did that, it would help the deception which we are practicing on these bees.
Silly old bear.
Now, Christopher Robin didn't say it aloud because Pooh was so fond of him. So Christopher Robin went home for his umbrella.
was beginning to get anxious. I have discovered that the bees are now definitely suspicious.
Shall I put my umbrella up?
Yes, but wait a moment. We must be practical. The important bee to deceive is the queen bee. Can you see which is the queen bee from down there?
No.
A pity. Well, now, if you walk up and down with your umbrella, saying, "Tut, tut, it looks like rain," I shall do what I can by singing a little cloud song, such as a cloud might sing. Go!
Tut, tut, it looks like rain. Tut, tut, it looks like rain.
So, while Christopher Robin walked up and down and wondered if it would rain, Winnie the Pooh sang a song.
How sweet to be a cloud floating in the blue. Every little cloud always sings aloud.
The bees were still buzzing as suspiciously as ever. Some of them, indeed, left their nests and flew all around the cloud as it began the second verse of this song.
How sweet to be a cloud floating in the blue. It makes him very proud to be a little cloud.
And one of the bees flew over and sat down on the nose of the cloud for a moment, and then got up again.
Christopher, ow! Robin!
Yes.
I have just been thinking, and I have come to a very important decision. These are the wrong sort of bees.
Are they?
Quite the wrong sort. So, I should think they would make the wrong sort of honey, shouldn't they?
Would they?
Yes, so I think I shall come down.
How?
Winnie the Pooh hadn't thought about this. If he let go of the string, he would fall, and he didn't like the idea of that. So he thought for a very long time, and then he said,
Christopher Robin, you must shoot the balloon with your slingshot. Have you got your slingshot?
Of course I have, but if I do that, it will spoil the balloon.
But if you don't, I shall have to let go, and that would spoil me.
When he put it like this, Christopher Robin saw how it was, and he aimed very carefully at the balloon and fired.
Ow!
Did I miss?
You didn't exactly miss, but you missed the balloon.
I'm so sorry.
Christopher Robin carefully aimed again, then fired. This time he hit the balloon, and the air came slowly out. And Winnie the Pooh floated to the ground. His arms were so stiff from holding on to the string of the balloon all that time that they stayed straight up in the air for more than a week. And whenever a fly came and settled on his nose, he had to blow it off. Pooh! And I think, but I am not sure, that is why he was always called Pooh. The end. That was Winnie the Pooh and Some Bees by A. Milne. The cast in order of appearance. Narrator, Dana Flowers. Winnie the Pooh, Mike Andreola. Christopher Robin, Greg Bukoskey. Foley effects by Biruk Eyosisas. Gebreyesus Eyosisas. Paul Fox. Matt Mann. Directed by Carrie Fetter. Produced by Thomas Marinchak. A production of We Are One Body Audio Theater.